Oh, hello everyone, and welcome to another video today. Today, I thought we'd do something different. Today, we're going to do a World Cup group stage prediction. The World Cup is only a few days away, so I thought let's make a video and try to predict all these groups for the World Cup, and maybe go a wee bit of depth in each group. So, without further ado, let's get into the groups. We'll start off with Group A. And in Group A, you have Mexico, Czechia, South Korea, and South Africa. And the order I think this group will finish is now. I think this. I think the way I just pronounced it there now, I think how the group was Mexico. Obvious reason why I put number one. They're one of the co-hosts for the World Cup. They have to be in it. Mexico, they're going to have home advantage. They're going to play all their games in Mexico. Group stage in Mexico. They're going to have a good support behind them. Teams will find it really hard to play in Mexico during the summer, not just because of the opponent, because of the altitude. Very high Mexico, so they'll be used to the altitude. Yeah, but I just think Mexico are going to win this group, not comfortably, but easily enough. Okay, and second place, who I have just had goes there, is Czechia. Yes, Czechia. First World Cup since 2006. If I can beat Ireland on the way to get here, unfortunately. Well, the less we talk about that, the better. Czechia, first World Cup since 2006. Great omen for them. There were few good players like Patrick Schick and Souček and Korfel and few players in the Premier League, and they have a few good players as well. I think they're going to do well in this World Cup. I think they're going to get out of the group at least. Third place, South Korea. There's only one man in South Korea, Heung-min Son. He'll probably the only player I know. There's a few guys from PSG, I think they're in this team. One plays in Bayern Munich, but it hasn't. And yeah, South Korea, always there at the World Cup. They're always there. They're always there. You can't get rid of them. They just can't. But I think South Korea will get third place in this group. And finally, not least, a team we haven't seen since 2010, South Africa. We all remember when they hosted the World Cup back in 2010. It was one of the best World Cups I ever watched in my life, too. Apart from the Vuvuzelas. Oh, jeez, can't get that noise out of my head. So I just don't see them doing much in this World Cup, just to be honest. They have one or two players who play in the Premier League, and I think the majority of them play in the South African League, which don't really watch, plus I wouldn't know too much about it. But yeah, I think it's going to be a bit of a struggle for South Africa in this World Cup, and that's why I think they'll finish fourth in the group. Let's move on to the next group, which is Group B, which has the group of Canada, Bosnia, Qatar, and Switzerland. And how do I feel this group? How do I feel like this group will finish? Well, glad you ask. I think the group will finish something like this. Yes, I think Switzerland are going to cruise through this group. Switzerland, the most reliable team in the World Cup, always get there. You know what you expect of them. It does exactly what it says in the tin. And they're a reliable team, very old, got very well balanced, got age, it's got players like Granit Xhaka and Bolo, and they have that Vargas guy. I don't know if he still plays for them anymore. They go good goalkeeper Jan Sommer, and then they have a few good players in the Premier League, and there's some other good players to have as well. But I think Switzerland are just a nail on bet to get through. They always get to a World Cup, and they always get out of a World Cup because they're reliable. In second place, I've gone for one of the co-hosts, Canada. Canada have a few good players. Played Ireland in a friendly there recently. didn't watch it because I wasn't bothered. Drew with them 1-1. There were a few good players. They had Davis and Fonso and Jordan Davis, and then they have a young guy from Syria, I think, called Cody or something like. He's supposed to be a very good midfielder, and then they have other good players. Most of them play in Europe, I think, and maybe some in the MLS as well. But anyways, yeah, I think Canada, just because they have hope, one of the co-hosts, I just think they'll get through this group. Third team I predict is Bosnia. Bosnia, they have the reliable Dzeko. He must be 40 plus by now. Jeez, he's been around forever. Very reliable player, great servant to the country. There are a few good players. They have obviously former Arsenal player Kolasinac. Remember him back in the day in the Premier League with Arsenal? Yeah, there are a few. I wouldn't really know much about them, but I have predicted them to finish third in this group, and they might be one of the best 18 to get through. Fourth place, Qatar. They're not a good team. No, Qatar are just not good at all. Let's be honest. Yes, they may have Lopetegui in charge, but they're not a good team at all. Jeez, they were terrible. They were probably one of the worst hosts to ever host a World Cup. Not the worst host to host a World Cup, the worst host performance-wise of a World Cup. They got thrashed every game, 4-0, and God knows how many. They're just not a good team, let's be honest. Qatar are not a good team. I know what? They're going straight last. I'm going to predict they might even score a goal. They're that bad. And I just do not rate the Qatar team at all. It's Qatar, not Qatar. By the way, I don't see them doing much in this World Cup. Okay, let's move on now to Group C. If I can get it here now in my predictions. Anyways, while I get that up, Group C is Brazil, Scotland, Haiti, and Morocco. And let me just get this group up here for you now. Yeah, I have it here. Look. Yes. Oh, I'll keep it that. Right. Bit of a surprise in this week. You're thinking, oh, I've actually predicted Morocco to finish first in this group. Yeah, bit of a surprise. Yeah. The reason why I've gone for Morocco, did you not see them in the last World Cup? Semi-final? Who the hell saw that coming? What an unbelievable. They were the story of the World Cup the last time. And yeah, they're a very well organised team, and they play good brand of football that is enjoyable to the eye, and they get behind them. And yeah, I just think they're going to top this group. I know it might be a bit of a shock for some, but I think I really rate this Morocco team very high. There might be a dark horse in this World Cup, so yeah. The second place, Brazil. Yeah, they'll do enough to get this group. They're a good team. They've got a few good players: Vinicius Junior, Cunha, Thiago, Alisson, Gabriel, Marquinhos. You have a few good Premier League players. Most of them play in Europe, and Rafinha as well. Most of them play in European leagues in the Premier League, and then some play in South America in the Brazilian League. Yeah, they're doing enough to get the truest group in second place at least. Anyways, third place, Scotland. Yeah, Scotland are back in the World Cup since 1998. I wasn't even born the last time Scotland were in the World Cup. So that shows you how long that's been with them. Great to see Scotland back in the World Cup. It's been a long time coming for Scotland. Yeah, I think they're going to do enough to get good. Scotland, they have a very good midfield with John McGinn and Scott McTominay and Lewis Ferguson and Ryan Christie and all these type of players. That's where they're strongest. Their midfield is stacked. Yeah, their midfield's really strong. Defensively, they're all right. The problem might have them as goalkeeper. They don't have. They're not great in that department. They're not great in the goalkeeper department. Up front, they're all right. They have the Shanklin and stuff and Shea Adams, but yeah, I think they're doing enough to get this group and get third place at least. And fourth place, I've gone for Haiti. Haiti, well, good to see them back in the World Cup. Yeah, have been in the World Cup for like 50 years or something like that, but I just don't think it'll last long. Yeah, that's my thoughts. I don't really know too much about Haiti's squad and that's it, but anyways, I just think Haiti will finish fourth. Okay, we'll move on to the next group, and our next group is Group D. First place I've gone for Turkey. Yes, Turkey back in the World Cup since 2002, I think it was the last time they were the World Cup. They were very good players, like Guler, and they had Çalhanoğlu and a few other Turkish players. They've come in I think most of them play in Europe and Turkish league, obviously, in Serie A. And yeah, I think Turkey are a good round squad, and I think they're going to top the group. Second place, one of the final co-hosts we're going to mention is United States of America or USA. Yeah, they're going to. I'm not that impressed with this US team, but I'm predicting to finish second because they've got the home advantage and they'll scrape second. Yeah, they've got a few, one or two good players. Pulisic, Robinson, other players. Yeah, just they'll get through. Third place, Paraguay. They haven't been in the World Cup since 2010, I think. So nice to see them back in the World Cup. They have remember him back in the day, Mikel Amaron. Yeah, and they have that Brighton player. What do you call him? I know his name. I know he's Paraguayan. Anyways, yeah, they have them as well. Yeah, but I think they're going to get good enough to get third place. Fourth place, Australia are also known as the Socceroos. Yeah, Australia. Can I see them doing? Do I know either players? No, I actually don't. I know the players in the past, but I just don't know many players in Australia. But anyway, Australia, football's not their first sports. We all know what their first sports are: Aussie rules and rugby and cricket. There's those three sports are ahead of football. Anyways, nice to see Australia. They're always there, and yeah, good luck to Australia. But I just don't think they'll get out of this group. Okay, let's move on to Group E. And the Group E, I have predicted that Germany will top this group. Yeah, Germany. It's not the Germany role, but I had to do enough to get this group. They have a few good players like Wirtz and Goretzka and Tar and Slotterbeck and Neuer and all these type of players. Most of them play in Europe, as obviously, and the Premier League and the Bundesliga. Second place, Ecuador. Yeah, if you thought Arsenal were defensive, this fucking team is the Arsenal of football. Ecuador are the Arsenal of football. This is the reason why I'm predicting the second place, because they won't concede many goals, but they won't score a lot of goals. Their defense is the reason why I think they're finished second. They're the most boring anti-football team you'll ever watch in your life. If you tune into a game between Ecuador, you know there's not going to be many goals in them. But Ecuador, they'll make it. They have a few good players. They have a very good player, Casado, and there's a few Arsenal players on the team, I think. And then they've got the veteran himself, Valencia. So yeah, they'll do well. But I'm telling you now, if you're watching Ecuador, you're in for a boring game. Third place, Ivory Coast. Yeah, Ivory Coast. I think they'll do enough to get third place. I think they're a good outfit to anyone. Good player like Nicolas Pepe, remember him back in the day, and Diamande. Yeah, a good season, and then you got a few other good players as well. Yeah, I think Ivory Coast finisher. And fourth place, Well, hello to Curacao. First World Cup ever. And they're actually the smallest ever nation to ever qualify for a World Cup. Their population is only about 150,000, so fair fucking play to them. To put Ireland into fucking shame. If a country of 150,000 can qualify for a World Cup, there's no excuses that us we can qualify for a World Cup. Yeah, Curacao, they're just going to be. They're there for the fun. Look, if you can score a goal, that's a successful World Cup for them. But they'll try to be competitive and stuff. But let's be honest, they're not getting out of this group. I'd be amazed if you can get a point out of this group. Yeah, I just don't see them going far. Okay, we're moving on to the next group, and it will be in Group F. And in Group F, you have this is how the group will finish. Yeah, Japan. I think Japan are going to win this group. Japan are going to one of the other dark horses I have in this World Cup. They're a very exciting team to watch in this World Cup. They've got very good players like Endo and Tyson Maeda and Kamara and all of the other, but they play really good Spanish football, and I think they're going to do well. Netherlands second. It's not the out Dutch team of old, is it? They still got a few good players like Van Dijk and Cody Gakpo, yeah, and Memphis Depay still hanging up, going about, and De Jong and Gravenberg. Yeah, they'll do enough to get second place in this group of this, I think. Third place, Sweden. Yeah, Sweden on paper, I think they've got one of the best strike forces in the. Like you imagine if Gyökeres and Isak in the sort of like, it's a pity that Kulusevski's not going to be at the World Cup. He's obviously still out with injury, but particularly shaded. But what's going to let them down is defensively and goalkeeper. They're not great in that department. Midfield, they're all right, but I think they'll do enough to get third place and might be one of the best 8 third place teams. And fourth place, I'm going for Tunisia. Not really holding on much hope for them. They're just there. They'll bother trying to make competitive, but I don't think they're going to do that much. Okay, let's go to the next group and go to Group G. And in Group G, we have these teams. And this is how I think it's going to put. In Group G, you have Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. Belgium, that golden generation is gone, isn't it, boys and girls? They're not the same thing, and they'll do enough. They're going to top this group because there's other teams. Like Belgium got if they got a harder, I don't think they even got to go out of it. But I'm predicting them to get out of this group easily enough, but they won't be able to move. Second place, Egypt. Yes, Mo Salah country. Yes, I think this is the last time saloon for Mo Salah in Egypt. If they want to do something, they have to do it now. They still don't just have Mo Salah, they have Omar Mamouche, and they have, remember, Trezeguet back in the day. Trezeguet and other players. Yeah, but I think they're going to do all right in this group. I think they're going to finish second. Third place, Iran. Let's talk about the politics side of the group. Iran, I just think they'll just have a bit more than New Zealand in the World Cup firepower wise, and yeah, that's how I think that's going. In fourth place, New Zealand. Yeah, football's not the same as Australia. Football's not the very first sport. They're there. Well done for making it New Zealand, but I just don't think you're gonna. I don't think your World Cup adventure is going to last long. Let's move on to the next group, and we have Group H. And in Group H, you have Spain, Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay. Number one, Spain. By far one of the favourites to win the World Cup, in my opinion. Spain are stuck everywhere in midfield, defence, go up front, and stuff like that. The only worry I have about the Spain team is they don't have a number 9. Yes, they'll do, yes, I think they'll win this group quite comfortably, but maybe in the latter stages of the tournament, if they're a goal behind or they need a goal or something or need to kill off a game, they don't really have a striker. They don't produce. They're great producing midfielders, but strikers not so much. Not ever since the David Villa and Fernando Torres did. But look, they might even need a striker to that good of a squad, anyways. But if there's a wee concern about it, that's be my one concern. They'll do enough. They'll cruise the cruise grip, in my opinion, anyways. Second place, Uruguay. Yeah, Uruguay. Yeah, they've got good players. No Luis Suarez ahead in the World Cup, so I'll be a bit disappointed. But they have chaotic, or chaos, we call him, Darwin Nunes. Yeah, we all like him, doesn't he? He's great crack to watch, isn't he? He makes the easy chances look hard and the hard chances look easy. That's the type of player he is. Yeah, Uruguay and picking Bielsa's their manager, so yeah, there's going to be fireworks for Uruguay in this World Cup, but I think they'll do enough to get through. Third place, Cape Verde. Well done, Cape Verde. They're in the World Cup for the first time ever. Yeah, they're well done to them. I think they're going to do enough to get third place. I really do. They might cause a one or two be shocked, but I'm going to predict them for fourth Saudi Arabia. No, not for me, Saudi Arabia. Just don't think they're that team anymore. Okay, let's go Group I, and then we have Viva la France. They have Viva la France, Senegal, Norway, and Iraq. France, another favourite to win the World Cup. Yeah, they've got great forward line, great midfield, great defence, and all over the pitch. Yeah, it's great goal defence. The only slight worry I have about it is their manager, Didier Deschamps. Yeah. Anyways, his last World Cup, he won't. This is his last World Cup before we all know he's going to take charge of France after the World Cup. It's the worst kept secret. I'm not even going to mention his name. You know who it is, anyways. But anyways, France, I could see them to go well when he won the World Cup. Anyways, good on them, France. Second place, Senegal, probably the best African team in the World Cup, alongside Morocco. Yeah. Yeah, but the good players, Sadio Mane, Nicholas Jackson, Koulibaly, Mendy, and all Emile Sarr, and all these good players. And they're going to cause a few problems with the World Cup. Yeah, they'll cause a few problems. And I think they're going to do well. Third, Norway. I think it's their first World Cup since 98, I think. So it's been a long time coming for Norway. Norway have just been they have Mr. Inevitable up front, Erling Haaland, and they have a few other players like Odegaard and Nusa or something like that. And yeah, I think his goals will get Norway at least third place in this group. And fourth place, Iraq. Nice to see them back in the World Cup. I'm pretty sure they've been in the World Cup before. I can't remember how long ago it was. But anyway, I just don't see them much doing this much group. They're in a very hard group. So yeah, I think they're going to finish last in this group. Okay, we'll move on to Group J. And in Group J, we have the current World Cup champions. You know the country I'm talking about? Argentina. Yes, Argentina are back in the World Cup. Can they defend their crown? But they have something beneath their shoulder. The World Cup curse. Yes, we all know about the infamous World Cup curse. A current World Cup champions gets knocked out of the group stages. It's happened to Spain. It's happened to France. And it's happened to Germany. Will it happen to Argentina? No, I don't think it will happen to Argentina. I just can't see it. I know it's happened in the past, but just cannot see it. Argentina, but another favourite to win the World Cup, in my opinion. They've got some great players. They've got some great players like Great players like Messi and Julian Alvarez and Enzo Fernandez and Otamendi. I don't know if he's still playing. I'm pretty sure he's still there. And other players like that. Yeah, and I think Argentina are going to do well. And they also got Alexa McAllister. So, yeah, they're going to do very well in this World Cup. Second place, Austria. If you want a team that plays exciting football, this is the team to watch, in my opinion. Austria. They play the most exciting brand of football that I've ever seen. Managed by Ralf Rangnick. Yeah, they may not have like superstar players, but they work well as a team, and they're probably the main star player is David Alba. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he still plays for them. He'll be at the World Cup, or is he still injured or something like that? But I know he's Austrian, but not 100% sure if he's at this World Cup. But anyways, I think they're going to get enough to get for second place. Third place, Algeria. Yes, nice to see them back at the World Cup. I think it's their first World Cup since 2014. I think, yeah, 2014. They're good. They've got one or two players. I know they've got Riyad Mahrez, and they have what do you call that guy? He used to play. Is he still playing for them? He played for Valencia and he played for West Ham back in the Finogler or something like that. And then they have a few other good players as well. Yeah, but Algeria will do enough to get this group. In fourth place, Jordan. Good to see Jordan in the World Cup. I'm pretty sure it's the first time for them. But I just can't see them doing much. Most of the players, I presume, play in the Jordan League, but I do know one of their players playing in the French League. That's probably their best player. Don't know his name off by heart, but I know he plays in the French League. But yeah, I can't see Jordan doing any much in this World Cup. And we're going to go to the next group, and we're going to go for another wee shock here. Guess, see if you can spot it. I'm predicting Colombia to win this group. Yes, Colombia over Portugal. You're thinking, what the hell have you been smoking? Look, I think Colombia. I obviously think Colombia one of the dark horses at the World Cup. I bet they've got a good attack. They've got a good rounded team. They've got James Rodriguez and they've got Luis Diaz and they've got David Sanchez and Ospina, the goalkeeper back in the day, and a few other good players as well. I report Colombia are going to be one of those teams that they may underestimate in this World Cup, to be honest. And I think it's going to happen in this group. I think people are going to underestimate Colombia and they're going to hit them with a bang and just do well in the World Cup and finish top. Second place, Portugal. There's two reasons why. Yes, I think they're doing awful good. There's two reasons why Portugal. Yes, they're one of the favourites to win the World Cup. There's two reasons why I don't think they're going to win this World Cup. Number one, Cristiano Ronaldo. He is holding his team back. Ronaldo, his ego is really hurting this team. It's one of the reasons. He shouldn't be going to this World Cup because he's Ronaldo. He's Ronaldo. He should be on the bench at least. They'll have a better chance of winning the World Cup if he's not starting. I just think it's one of number two, Roberto Martinez. I do not rate this manager at all. He is an absolute fraud. He should be on fraud watch. The fact that he was the fucking manager that when Belgium had that golden generation was so criminally unfair. That's why Belgium didn't win anything. They had him as fucking manager. He's definitely going to be leaving. If he has a bad World Cup, he's definitely getting sacked. Portugal had to get at least quarter-final minimum, in my opinion, to have a good World Cup. Quarter-final. Anything less than that is a disgrace. But they're doing enough to get through this group. Third, DR Congo. Yeah, DR Congo. Do you remember them back in the day? Yeah, I don't feed them. Yeah, they're going to be in the World Cup. Yeah, and I think they're going to do enough to get third. And fourth place, Uzbekistan. Yeah, Uzbekistan. They're going to first debut to them. Well, don't forget in there, but I just don't think you're going to do much of the World Cup. But I could be wrong. And last not least, is it coming home? That's the question. If you know what country I'm on about next. If you don't, you've been living under a rock. Is it coming home? Don't know. But I predict them to win this group, England. Yeah, England. Let's be honest, I don't think they're winning this World Cup. They need to get. I think quarterfinals the furthest they're going to get. Once they play France or Spain, they're fucked. They're fucked. They have the best striker going to the World Cup. I'll give them that. They have the best striker going. But I just don't see them doing much this World Cup. It's England are just one of those teams. They do well to get to a World Cup, but once they're at a World Cup, they flatter to deceive. They flatter to this. Yeah, but I think they'll win this group. They should be one of this group easily. No arguments, no excuses. Second place, Croatia. They must. Croatia. This got to be the oldest squad in the World Cup. If I could look at Modric and still plays it. I mean, we probably Rakitic and that Inter player still playing for them. Yeah, they're one of the oldest squads. All the itches they have. Yeah. I know Mandzukic doesn't play for them anymore, but yeah, Croatia, they're a well experienced squad. They'll do that. They'll definitely get second, third place. Guyana. Yeah. Yeah, they're going to do. I think they have a few good players. Kudos, I don't think he's going to be at this World Cup. They got Jordan A and stuff like that. And for Palama, yeah. The only thing good for Palama is the canal, and that's it. It's like, yeah. Yeah, but I just don't see they're going to do much. Anyways, that's my thoughts and my prediction. Okay, and then in terms of, there is 8 best third place teams, so I'll just go through the World Cup quickly. I'm going to predict that South Korea, Scotland, Ivory Coast, Norway, DR Congo, Algeria, Sweden, Paraguay, and there's my 18th I predicted as the World Cup. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. And if you do like what you see in this channel, please do give a like, share, and subscribe. Goodbye for now.